So the Switch 2 hasn't even been out for a week yet, and we have a new Splatoon game announced. But it may not be what you're expecting. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I believe this was first announced in the Nintendo Today app, you know, that mobile app that I think most of us have forgotten about since the Switch 2 was released. But here is the announcement over on X from the official Splatoon account. Hey everyone, you might have seen this in the Nintendo Today app, again I guess reminding us that it exists, but we thought you might want to hear it straight from the squid's beak. SRL, which is the Splatoon Research Lab, has prepared a little trailer for you. Take a look. Now I've got this trailer running in the background, but we'll kind of go into what we see here. And the trailer opens up with the first spin-off Splatoon game. Let's take a look at more information over at Nintendo.com. And the headline here says Splatoon Raiders, the first ever Splatoon spin-off game, is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. In a new trailer released today, Nintendo announced the first ever Splatoon spin-off game, Splatoon Raiders, coming exclusively on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. In the role of a mechanic, players will go on an adventure in the mysterious Spearhalite Islands alongside the Splatacular Deep Cut Trio. And in this trailer we see a helicopter heading to the Spearhalite Islands, which I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, with the characters chasing after some kind of rumor that was found on a map. And as they get closer to the island, a large beam of light shoots out and seems to pull them in. Now I'm guessing this leaves the crew trapped on this island. Now going back to that information from Nintendo, the game is kind of an adventure and not a typical Splatoon game. We see the characters walking around with their weapons, and we see them fishing from this like floating wooden structure, but we don't get much more information about the game. However, if I had to make a guess, I would say this is some kind of adventure game where you uncover treasure, considering the name of the game is Splatoon Raiders. We also see in the background of this shot a map with an X on it, which again leads me to believe that there will be some kind of treasure hunting theme here. And with the scene of a character fishing, that makes me think there will be some kind of farming mechanic. Perhaps you can gather fish for restoring health. And since you're stuck on these islands, maybe you have to tend a garden and create some kind of power-ups. I don't know, this is just all a guess on my part. But something that we do know just from the description that's given to us by Nintendo is that these are islands and not just one island. So I could see where you explore and open up new sections of the map. And since there are multiple islands, you would need some way to travel between them. So maybe you build some kind of boat in order to travel back and forth between the different islands. Now as far as any combat goes, we do see a character walking around with a weapon, so I would think that that weapon has to be used in combat against something, but we don't really see any kind of combat in this trailer, but I would imagine that it would have to fit into the Splatoon universe. So maybe you ink something to incapacitate it, or maybe perhaps different ink colors create different effects. I guess we'll have to wait and see when we get more information. Now I haven't played a Splatoon game since the first game came out on the Wii, so I've kind of fallen out of the lore and some of the characters here. But something like this does interest me, so I think this is a great way for Nintendo to expand this IP. People who may not be into the combat aspects of Splatoon might enjoy some kind of adventure game that might be a slower pace. Now the release date for Splatoon Raiders is still to be determined, but there is usually a Nintendo Direct in June. Last year it was on June 18th, and the year before it was on the 21st. So I would expect Nintendo to drop a Direct here in the next few weeks, but I do wonder if that's the case why we got this teaser for a new Splatoon spin-off now and not just wait until a Direct in a few weeks. So maybe the Direct will be later this year, given that the Switch 2 just released last week. But either way, if we have a Direct 2 like a few weeks from now or much later, I would expect some kind of update for Splatoon Raiders. I'm not sure if we will see a release window at that next Direct, but this does kind of feel to me like a 2026 or later game. There was very little shown here, but maybe at the next Direct we'll get a better idea of how close this game is to release. But let me know what you think about this announcement. Are you a current Splatoon 3 player, and do you know all these characters and all the lore behind them all? And would you like this new kind of adventure spin-off from this series? And if you're someone like me who hasn't really kept up with Splatoon, would this be something that would interest you that would probably get you more involved in understanding the story and all the characters? Drop your comments below and let me know your thoughts. And if you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so. It really does help the channel out quite a bit. I want to thank you for watching and be good.